I think there's a large percentage of the fan base who, no matter what we do, they're not going to be happy.
Jamie, sorry. Sorry.
I'm calling you out, Jamie. Race car spelled backwards is still race car. This is the Race Car Spelled Backwards podcast. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Brad, and with me is John, and this is Race Car Spelled Backwards, episode 91. John, welcome back.
It's good to be back.
Well, we're glad to have you back, man. So John is going to just fill in for Jamie for a while, right?
Pretty much.
We don't really know what Jamie's plans are or how long he's going to take off or take a break from the show, but Jamie is going to step away from the show and he'll be John's fill-in. So, you got some kids camp and youth camp and stuff at church coming up.
Yeah, so he'll be filling in for me, I guess, on those days.
Yeah, Jamie will be the new fill-in for John when John can't make it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which it works out. So, if you've watched this show or listened to this show, Jamie hadn't really been completely happy with the path NASCAR's been taking. So I think taking a break will be good. Maybe by the time he's ready to come back, the racing will be better. Or if not, me and John will just keep going.
It's not so much of a question if the racing will be better. It's just if Jamie changes his mind.
Yeah, if Jamie likes the racing.
Yeah.
You never know with Jamie. That's what makes Jamie so much fun to hang out with. You just never know what's going to happen. Trust me, I did the cannonball run with you guys. So we had Richmond last weekend. Was Richmond a good race? Well, on the Jeff Gluck poll, they've got it at 51% of you said yes, 49% of you said no. I actually voted yes. John, what did you think?
Yeah, I thought the beginning and the end were interesting. The in-between was not a standard Richmond race, I thought.
Stage 2?
Pretty much, yeah. Stage 2.
Yeah.
Just, nothing. Not much happened besides, Kyle Busch, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. Denny Hamlin won the race. I mean, That's not a bad day in my book. I mean, I'm a Denny Hamlin fan. I like Denny. I don't dislike Denny when he wins. I say I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Denny Hamlin. I don't really pull for anybody on the track. I have people I dislike, but not really people I really like. So, I mean, Denny won that race. I was great with it. Truex would have won. I'd have been okay with that too. Now, if Joey Logano would have won.
Wouldn't have been so okay with that one.
Oh, you wouldn't have?
No.
Well, you never know. I didn't know maybe if you changed your mind in a week over Joey Logano.
Going on 17 years of not liking Joey Logano, I think we can keep the trend going. Not go back on that.
17. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
So, if you didn't catch it on social media, John turned 17 last week. So, I'm getting old and he's getting older. It works that way. It's weird. So, as we get older, maybe we should get the scooter gang.
I don't know if I'm joining a scooter gang. Last time I rode a scooter, I scraped up my knee pretty bad.
We were laughing about it on the Dell Jr. download. He was talking about the scooter gang and making fun of. I don't know if he was necessarily making fun of Tyler and the 2311 guys, but he did kind of have a dig at Kurt.
Yeah.
He was saying Kurt Busch looked like he stole his scooter from downtown Austin. He said definitely paying for that one by the hour.
Yeah, that's a fee right there.
I think it's cool. I went and looked at these scooters. I'd never really paid attention to these scooters until Dell mentioned it. So I went and looked at the scooters. I don't think they have electric motors like Dell was thinking.
No, they look like real scooters.
Yeah, Dell would hate these things. He would have to pedal or push or whatever you do on a scooter. I don't know that.
You scoot.
I've never been a scooter.
I've
never scooted on a scooter. I've seen them in Nashville. They had them. Me and your mom went to Nashville.
Aren't those electric in Nashville?
They are electric.
Yeah, you don't scoot on those.
That's scooting.
Those are just riders.
Those are scooters for like people of my age.
Yeah.
I would prefer electric. I'm like Dale. I want to just do this and take off. I don't want to have to push. That doesn't sound fun at all. So last week there was a rumor. Well, last couple weeks there's been a rumor going around that NASCAR was interested in going to Long Beach, the street course race.
Yeah.
We know NASCAR wants to stay in the Southern California market. They sold Auto Club Speedway. There's a very loose rumor that it's going to become a short track, but I'm thinking it's probably going to become an Amazon facility or something. I don't see it becoming a short track. Well, the ownership of Long Beach was owned by two guys. They're 50% shareholders in the ownership. Yep. One of them passed away. NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula One, everybody went into the estate to try to buy his half. Naturally, the estate sells that 50% ownership to the other guy, so he has 100% ownership stake in this course now. He said if anybody else is planning on running here, they can just forget about it.
Yep.
He wants to keep it an IndyCar only thing, and, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I mean, can't complain.
He's holding tradition.
Right.
You don't want to see F1 race at North Wilkesboro.
Right. It'd be like, you got F1 coming out like Talladega or something. Like,
ooh, that'd be cool.
Seeing F1 cars go.
You know how fast they would go around Talladega?
Oh my gosh.
Like 230. That would be insanity.
That'd probably be dangerous.
I think it would probably end up killing somebody. Indy was running at Atlanta for a while, and they quit running at tracks like that because they were going so fast.
Imagine a Formula One car.
Yeah. I would have think they'd be similar in speed, right?
Probably. I don't know. I don't know much about the differences between Indy and F1.
They look the same. Well, I say they look the same. If you put them side by side, you could tell a difference. I don't know that I could say, oh, that's an Indy car. Oh, that's an F1 car. I don't care enough. Like, it's just not my thing. I enjoy watching IndyCar racing on TV when nothing else is on because it's interesting.
It's racing.
Yeah, it's right. I can watch just about any kind of racing.
Yeah.
What I've got into here lately has been like radial drags, like drag racing.
Oh, yeah.
Just street cars or no prep. That's on Flow Racing, and that's, for some reason, it interests me. Like, it's just cool to see the guys go that fast, that quick.
Yeah, so that's like, souped up street cars, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that show Street Outlaws I used to watch.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that, but with more officiating. So it's not as
not outlaws.
Yeah, which I don't think they were. They might have been before the show, but once the show started, I'm pretty sure they were closing roads and the cops were involved.
Yeah.
I don't think the cops were going to shut them down after season 2 got there. So, other news, NASCAR says it has a lot of work to do when it comes to track limit penalties. Elton Sawyer was on XM Radio last week. He's the senior vice president of competition. He said that it was way too much about the penalties and the officiating last weekend at COTA and not the teams and the drivers. He wants the focus to be on the teams and the athletes, not what NASCAR ruled.
Right. That's how it should be.
Yeah, that's what I want too. Like, I guess he forgot he said that before they got to Richmond, but
yeah, that's okay. Yeah, what they said yesterday is totally irrelevant when it comes to tomorrow.
It's an overreaction is what it is. Like, NASCAR is prone to overreacting. Like, you go to Bristol and you have the softest tire they've had in 40 years. Then you go to COTA and they bring a brick. Like, it's from one extreme to the other. Like, can't we meet in the middle? Which I'm sure we got to give NASCAR time and Goodyear time to have Denny Hamlin go pee in all the track compound. So
I mean, that's a lot of PP for one man.
He'll get there. It might take him a few months, but he'll get there.
In his older age, it'll speed it up.
I didn't hear on his episode if he peed in the car this weekend.
Oh, no.
I mean, he won, and that's usually his go-to, right?
That's like, you do a victory lap.
Just pee?
Yeah, victory lap around the track and in the pants.
Well, I know when I met Denny Hamlin the first time, we met after the bathroom, so I was standing there peeing in the urinal, and he walks in and standing next to him, and I'm like, this is probably not the best time to shake his hand, so I'm just going to wait till we get out of here. And I did. I did not speak to Denny Hamlin while we were peeing. I felt that was inappropriate. So, but I give NASCAR props. They know they have work to do on this. They're going to work on the track penalty stuff. I got faith in them. I don't know why. I still do, but I do.
Better to be optimistic than
Yeah.
not enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm going glass half full, not half empty.
Right.
I'm going to try something different. So we raced on Easter. It's 100% about TV ratings, right?
I mean, it has to be.
Like, why else do it? I know Jeff and Jordan Bianchi, they didn't seem to agree on this one. And I understand where Jordan's coming from.
Yeah.
Other sports play on holidays, but for me personally, Easter is a special day. You know, Easter's all about the resurrection of Christ. It has nothing to do with NASCAR. I would prefer not to race on that day. I don't know why we couldn't run Saturday night.
Yeah. I mean, no, I nope. Totally agree with that. I don't know. Like they were saying on the teardown, NASCAR has this tradition of not racing on Easter and other holidays. So why start it now?
They've already kind of ruined it. I mean, we used to never race on Mother's Day. Now we race every Mother's Day.
Yeah.
We used to never race on Easter. Then the whole Bristol dirt debacle started, and we started racing on Easter. And now we're at Richmond on Easter, which at least give us a real exciting track. But my thing is, if I know why they don't run a race on Saturday night. NASCAR's been very clear that when they race on Saturday nights, the ratings are down. So I'm good. I understand that, but it's Easter. It's like the sport was built in the Southeast. I mean, it's
right. I mean,
it's the Bible Belt. You would think
Bible
that they
Belt
would,
of the U.S.
Yeah, you would think they would take it a little more serious, but you know, that's my opinion. I think, you know, Denny Hamlin, they asked him, he's like, yeah, I was at the track. You know, he didn't have time to go home. I don't think they were doing media like at 11 a.m., 12, 1 o'clock that morning or afternoon already on Twitter and stuff with Bob. So I don't see how these guys got to enjoy their Easter. And I don't think it's fair to ask them to spend their Easter at the racetrack. Personally, that's my opinion.
No, then I fully agree with that.
That's why we have this podcast, so we can give our opinions. And if you don't like our opinions, then
don't watch.
Well, start your own podcast and share your opinion.
And make your own opinions.
And then we'll go watch your podcast and listen to your opinions like you listen to our opinions. So, anyway, we're coming off a Richmond race weekend, and one of the things, so with Jamie not being on the show, we're gonna just basically stop doing fantasy picks, and we're gonna talk about something different.
You did win the fantasy this time.
Did I?
Yeah, Larson finished ahead of Truex. Isn't that what he picked?
He did. I only beat him by 1 point.
Yeah, but you beat him.
So we're gonna end on a high note. Since I won, we're just going to go ahead and end it.
Yep, no more.
No more. I won. Actually, if we go on the overall points, Jamie's technically the winner of all of it, so which is nothing new. Jamie always, I don't know how he doesn't even put thought into his fantasy picks. He just pulls them out of his butt, and he's like, I win. We should have called it, I win for Jamie. So to replace the fantasy stuff, decided we're going to talk about historic races from the tracks. So since we're coming off Richmond race and we didn't do this last weekend, I really couldn't go without talking about a historic Richmond race. Let's go back to 2008. 2008, Dale Jr. was on a 70-plus race winless streak. Coming into the spring Richmond race, I mean, Dale was hot. Dale looked good all day. Mm-hmm. Dale was leading laps. I mean, Dale was going to win that race. I fully believe that. Kyle Busch was Kyle Busch. He had just left Hendricks. He was a much younger guy than he is now. And he just spins Dale Jr. out. Like, you got to know, right?
I mean,
like, you got to know sitting in that car as Kyle, like, I just spun the most popular driver out. Junior Nation's not going to be happy.
And they weren't.
Kyle had to get the FBI involved for security.
Which is absolutely insane.
Junior even said it in the interview.
Yeah.
When they interviewed him after the race, Kyle's going to need security and not from me. Then we go back to Richmond later on in 2008 for the fall race. My man Dale Jr.
repays the favor.
He hooks Kyle Busch in the fall race and puts him in the wall, ending Kyle's day. Dale didn't go on to win that race, but
It didn't matter.
I mean, it did not matter.
It did not matter.
I think if Dale wouldn't have wrecked him, his fans would have never let him. They would have loved him still. We would always love Dale. But him wrecking Kyle was just, it's like a gift to us as fans. So it's like, it had nothing to do with Dale and Kyle. It had everything to do with his fans. We needed that.
We needed Dale to wreck Kyle at Richmond.
I mean, I felt better.
I mean, who knows? Maybe I did. I was a year old at the time.
Oh, you were cheering. I remember. I remember
Yeah.
you standing on the couch, jumping up and down, cheering. Maybe not, but that's how I like to remember it. So that's for me, that was probably one of the biggest Richmond moments that I could think of. We'll go back go back there in the fall, and we'll pull up some more historic race to add on that race. But to start the great historic finishes or races from a track, we just went with Dale Jr. I mean, you can't go wrong with Dale Jr.
I mean,
Ever.
Dale Jr. is historic in himself, so.
Yeah. I mean, he is NASCAR. What would NASCAR be without an Earnhardt? Have you ever thought about that?
No, I haven't, because Earnhardt's almost always been involved in NASCAR.
Yeah. You had Ralph, then you had Dale, and then you had Dale Jr.
Yeah.
I mean, we had Kerry, we had Jeffrey. I mean, we've got a lot of Earnhardts in the sport, but I couldn't imagine what NASCAR would be like today if we never had Dale Sr.
Man.
If you never had that black number 3.
It is intimidating.
No pun intended. I mean, we went to the museum last
year.
year at RCR, and you got to walk around, and I remember Jamie coming up to me. He goes, "It's really cool to see your son at, I think you were 15 at the time."
Yeah.
He's like, "It's really cool to see a 15-year-old this interested in the history of the sport." I mean, that was cool.
Oh, it was really cool.
Me and Jamie have talked about it on the show a lot. Like, if you ever go to the Charlotte area, Hall of Fame was cool.
Yeah.
But the RCR museum.
I enjoyed that way.
What was your favorite part?
I don't know. I mean, like, just walking through the garage and seeing like 20 different number 3s or number 3. I don't know. That was crazy.
It was cool to see the old holler.
Oh yeah.
Had like the old school coffee maker in there.
I forgot about that. That was
it was kind of neat to see that stuff too. Like that, I really wouldn't. I don't know what I was expecting when I went in there, but it wasn't that. Like it was just like it was like stepping back in time, I guess, in a sense. So it was really cool that they still had all that stuff, and
yeah,
I think it says a lot about Richard because of course he makes money off the museum, but not much. I mean, it's like $5 to get in or something.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't cost much at all.
But for him to preserve that history and share it with the fans, really. I mean, you got new fans, young fans, old fans. I mean, it's really neat of Richard to do that. So thanks for sharing all that. It's really cool. Even young Ty Dillon by the bathroom, they got his truck there. I think they keep the Charmin Ultra in the bottom of it, but hey, he won a race or two in the truck series. Poor guy can't do anything to save his life now, but we don't want to bash the Dillon kids too much today. So let's jump into Richmond racing. Chandler Smith from Talking Rock, Georgia, leads 70 laps, gets tires under caution, drives through the field, and wins the Xfinity race.
Yep.
Bubba Pollard, another Georgia boy from Sonoy, Georgia. Man, Bubba looked good.
Yeah,
he finished 6th in his very first Xfinity race. His family is part of the track over here by our house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
He's not, but maybe 10 minutes from our house. and we still haven't been. I don't know what we're waiting on. We really need to try to get out there. We wanted to go to the flat track race when they did the motorcycle flat track racing, but we were trout fishing, so got priorities.
That's right.
Fishing or dirt racing.
It's pretty close.
It's tight.
It is tight.
But that particular weekend, we had a fishing trip planned. So next weekend, we got another fishing trip planned. So went to Bass Pro Shop today. We're all stocked up.
Yeah, we're ready.
So let's talk about Joey Gase. Joey Gase, he gets wrecked by Dawson Cram. And I've seen helmets thrown,
Yep.
but I've never seen somebody rip the rear end off their car and throw it at another car. And I mean, the
It was a good throw, too.
precision.
It was a good throw. I mean, I don't know if he's like in his backyard.
Practicing.
Yeah, like, he's taking sheets of metal and just like chucking them at windshields, but it was a pretty good throw.
You would think.
I mean, with that accuracy.
It doesn't look like it weighed much either. So I know if I'm not mistaken, they're composite bodies. So it's similar to carbon fiber. So it's probably pretty lightweight. But he grabbed it and it like almost pulled him back. Like I didn't think he was going to be able to pull it off, but he got it off. He picked the car out that wrecked him and he hit him. Like I've seen guys
right in the windshield.
Yeah, I've seen guys miss with helmets. And he did not miss with a bumper. So props to Joey Gase. He was not happy. Dawson Cram's selling T-shirts now of Joey Gase throwing a bumper at him. Says, sometimes you're the bumper, sometimes you're the windshield or something like that. But all the proceeds go to one of Joey Gase's charities. So, I mean, it's
cool.
That's cool when it works out like that.
Yeah.
So let's jump into the Cup race. NASCAR starts the Easter Day race in wet conditions with wet weather tires.
It's awesome. I loved it. I loved it.
I thought it was cool.
I think we should do that more often. It's way better than waiting 3 hours for them to dry the track.
Oh, no doubt. Like I think we should honestly. Look, they ran those wet weather tires one year at the Roval, and those guys were cooking it through turns 3 and 4. And I mean the Roval is road course except in 3 and 4. They weren't slowing down.
No.
They ran wide open on a 1.5 mile oval. So it looked like at Richmond I've never seen so many grooves in my life at Richmond. Like 5 different lanes. I think they should have run the whole race with wet weather tires on.
I think it would have been a better race.
Even when it dried.
Yeah. The
tires would just fall off quicker. It'd been like Bristol tire all over again. And you know how we felt about the Bristol tire. I mean, it wouldn't have been a 51 to 49 boat on the Gluck pole if we would have had that Bristol tire.
Oh, no.
Or the wet weather tire. Or just, maybe, Richmond hasn't been a good race in this next gen car, or a great race in this next gen car. Maybe we just keep the track wet. Maybe we put ice on it.
Oh, yeah.
Or gravel. Maybe we do gravel. Maybe you got turns 1 and 2 gravel.
You've heard of dirt racing, but let's try gravel racing. Let's see what that does.
Could you imagine the rocks pinging off people's window?
Oh my gosh.
I think it would be cool. So what I didn't like about the wet weather tires were the cautions.
Mm-mm.
And I did not like NASCAR mandating when they changed their tires. I think that NASCAR should have left it up to the team.
Yeah. I mean, you've got, F1 who, when they start and it's wet, it's all about the strategy. Because if the track's going to dry eventually, especially if it's not raining.
Yeah.
The track's going to dry, so it's okay. When do we put on the slicks?
I think it would have made it more interesting, at least. Like to see the drivers, half the field on wet weather tires being safe, and the other half sliding all over the track, but 2 mile an hour faster. That would have been kind of cool to see.
Yeah.
It would have been better than watching like 30 plus laps under caution.
Right.
NASCAR spun the random wheel of decision.
We're gonna throw a red, yellow, pink flag and.
What are we doing, guys? Like you run so many laps under caution, and you're just logging laps.
I know.
You could have, and this to dry pit road. Why didn't we dry pit road before we started the race? Why you ran a lot of laps around before you gave the green? Why weren't we trying to dry pit road then?
Who knows? Yeah, this NASCAR we're talking about.
I would go out on a limb and say this was probably one of the worst officiated races I've seen. I just felt like they didn't know what they were doing.
I think you might have been onto something with that wheel there. I think that's what they were doing.
Yeah, I swear, it's like they have a wheel up in there. NASCAR, we already know they have a committee, a caution committee. So I think
Are we sure they have a committee and it's not just like the Wheel of Fortune?
No, we're not. It's either a committee, a drunk guy, or the Wheel of Fortune guy. And they're just Ding, caution. What are we going to do? Kyle Busch looks loose. Caution.
Yep.
Put the wet weather tires on. Oh, no. Spin again. So Daniel Suarez cuts down across Josh Berry's nose and goes for a spin. That's 100% on Daniel.
Yep.
I have no other words for it. Daniel's probably one of the most emotional drivers. He lets his emotions override his common sense. I mean, he tried to punt Ty Gibbs later in the race. If Daniel would take a deep breath and calm down and not let his emotions override his talent, I think he'd win more races.
Yeah. Because, I mean, he's run good before. He's not a bad driver.
Well, he won Atlanta.
Right. He can win a race.
He just got to calm down. And I know we're taking a risk saying anything negative about him. His girlfriend's, she gets emotional too. So she called out DBC for having an opinion on Daniel. So there's always a chance she could get mad at us.
I don't know.
I'm
pretty scared about that, yeah.
Two emotional people. Ooh, calm down, Karen. Now she's going to be mad because I called her Karen. I'm just striking out here with her.
Gosh.
All right, Kyle Busch, stage 2. Stage 1 had the rain tires. We enjoyed it.
Yep.
Stage 2 had strategy going.
Right.
And then Kyle Busch.
Do we know what happened to Kyle Busch?
I think he sneezed. I mean, he got up into the wall. I hate to say he hit it because he didn't even scrape the paint off his car. I don't even think it left a mark on his car.
Just a love tap.
He lost 2 positions in that caution. It's a bad look, NASCAR. Kyle Busch goes high, NASCAR throws a caution. We basically changed the outcome of the race. There was some good strategy going, but you know what? On the other hand, when you make those strategy pit calls, like Kyle Larson had made,
right,
you run the risk
of a
caution coming out. So, is it on NASCAR or is it just part of the sport?
I think it's partially both because, like you said, you do run that risk of a caution coming out. I don't think that should have been the caution that got called, but both sides are valid.
Does it almost feel like to you like NASCAR was just ready to have a caution?
Oh yeah, you know NASCAR, they can't handle too many laps under green.
Yeah, they don't like it. It's especially at Richmond. It's just, I think I ain't gonna lie. I didn't hate the second stage. And I'll be honest, the booth is starting to click. Kevin and Clint are starting to hit their stride. They give each other so much crap. It's worse than me and Jamie. It's just nonstop.
It's entertaining.
Yeah, Clint's talking about Eric Jones reading to the kids, and he's like, "Oh, I bet his teachers are proud of him." And Kevin goes, "Your teachers would have been proud of you if you just read a book." And then Clint's like, "Did they even have books when you were in school?" I'm like, "Clint, books have been out for a long time, buddy." And Kevin's like, "Yeah, we had typewriters, dude." But that's what I mean. It's they're always just going at each other. And Mike Joy, you could tell he has fun with it too. He lets them pick at each other. I enjoy it. I enjoy the banter.
I do too.
I didn't hate stage 2 because you had banter and it kept it entertaining. Then we get into stage 3, and I'll be honest, I was really enjoying stage 3 too.
Yeah.
Because you had Denny Hamlin who pitted late and basically drove through the whole field and was coming.
Yeah.
10 laps to go. I think he kind of knew he wasn't going to get past Joey. Joey's not going to make it easy for anybody to pass him, ever.
Never.
Nor should he.
No.
I don't like Joey Logano, but it should be hard to pass.
Right.
Not as hard as it is to pass at Richmond.
Or just on any short track right now.
Yeah. Well, and it's because of the tires. You got to have a 40-lap difference to see something, to see a difference. The tire fall off needs to start at lap 3.
Yeah.
So you got 5 comers and goers.
Tire. We need the Bristol tire back.
We just need soft tires.
Bristol tire or the wet tire, like we were saying.
Yeah, that would solve it. And that makes when your strategy is fuel saving, and tire saving, it makes a difference. I mean, we saw it with Bubba Pollard on Saturday. This guy makes a career in the late model stocks of saving his tires for the end. They get one set of tires for a 100-lap race. He has to make those tires last from the beginning of the race to the end. Dale Jr. is a pro at it.
Yeah. I mean, we've watched him run those late models.
Yeah. Saturday, we saw Bubba Pollard at the end of the race, 10, 15 laps to go. He gets on it.
Yeah.
And he went from like 12th to 6th because he saved his tires. And what Denny said, there's a difference. I didn't even know there was a difference in the tires other than Hoosier and Goodyear, but he said there's a big difference between the tires.
Oh, yeah.
So for Bubba to come in there like he did and learn, this was his first Xfinity race, and he had to learn those things.
Highly impressive.
Yeah. Nobody else was doing it. So you go to the Cup race on Sunday, and you've taken that out of the equation.
Yep.
Just run as hard as you can till you run out of gas, and then we'll give you some more tires. Your tires are going to fall off a little.
Just slightly.
Maybe a second, but that's not much. Not enough to pass. And that's why you don't see passing. Everybody's running the same exact speed.
Mm-hmm.
There's no such thing as passing if everybody on the highway drives 55 exactly. No one will ever pass each other. You can't. A 55-mile-an-hour car cannot pass another 55-mile-an-hour car. It just doesn't. The math ain't math in there.
No, you're dyslexic, but I think you can figure that one out.
That's why I use 55, because even if it's backwards, it's still 55. It's like race car backwards, still race car. Yeah.
Works out.
Us dyslexics love stuff like that. Race car, 55. I mean, 11, 22, 33, 44, 88.
I don't know.
I hate Joey at 22, but I love Dell at 88. I mean, I liked 1.8 because I could do 1.8. You throw another one in, make it an 8. I can never get them confused.
That's right.
They're always frontwards. So, 2 laps to go. Bubba Wallace gets loose and unintentionally spins Kyle Larson, bringing out the yellow flag, setting up for a green-white checkered. I think Bubba showed a lot of maturity here.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, we saw it when, he got out of his car. You're like, uh-oh. What's he going to do?
Yeah.
And then he comes up, he gets right up in Kyle Larson's face, and he's like, dude, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
It was a breath of fresh air from Bubba. Like, usually Bubba usually Daniel Suarez's it and lets his emotions get the best out of him. And he didn't this time. And look, I like Bubba. It's funny, I'm not a huge Bubba Wallace fan, and it's funny because I really like Freddie Kraft. I really like his crew chief, Booty. I like his owner, Denny, but I'm not a driver fan. But I want to like Bubba because he's so good for the sport. I mean, Bubba has the ability to go from star to megastar in NASCAR.
Yeah.
He could be the next megastar. And his maturity he's showing. I mean, Bubba's grown up in front of the camera. I mean, the poor guy's he's hated on by thousands and thousands of people, and it's completely undeserved. But he's grown up in front of the camera. We've watched him grow up, and we've watched him mature. It's kind of like Kyle Busch. We watched Kyle Busch mature. Nobody liked Kyle in the beginning. Now he's in a Chevy, and people love him. I think Bubba's got a shot at being the next Kyle Busch, the next Dale Jr. He has the shot to be the next megastar to carry the sport. I mean, really, there's not a lot of megastars currently on that track.
No.
Denny.
I mean, let's be real. If you don't watch NASCAR, who are you gonna know? Maybe Ross Chastain
From the melon?
Yeah.
The hell melon?
Yeah. Like, maybe Ross Chastain. Maybe you've heard Chase Elliott.
Maybe you've heard of Denny.
Yeah. But, like, outside of that, I mean, if you're not,
it's not like Jeff Gordon.
Right. If you're not or Richard Petty.
Yeah. Dale Jr.
Yeah.
Dale Earnhardt.
Right. Like, these aren't icons like they were back then.
I think Bubba has the opportunity, though.
Yeah.
Bubba's got a fan base. He's got Bubba actually has a really cool personality. Like, when he lets his emotions get the best of him, to me, it's annoying. I don't like any driver who lets their emotions override them, but I think with the way Bubba's heading, he's got that shot because, I mean, Bubba's a metal dude. I love metal. I mean, Bubba and Blaney listen to the same kind of music I listen to. I mean, it's screamo, hardcore. It's good music. They like it. You know, I didn't like Matt Kenseth back in the day until I found out he was a Metallica fan. And it's like, oh, I like Matt Kenseth now. He likes Metallica.
Something I can get behind.
Yeah. And that's the same way with Bubba. Like, just to see the way he acted yesterday was, I think it was really cool. I mean, he definitely moved up a lot of notches on the ladder for me. And I got a lot of respect for the guy. So I greatly appreciate the way he acted. They come in, they pit. Denny Hamlin's crew.
Phenomenal.
Like
Phenomenal
usual.
job.
Like 8.6.
Something like that. I mean, it was
4 tires and gas. 8.6 seconds. I can't even get a 15-minute oil change around here anymore. I mean, I can't pump gas in 8 seconds.
Yeah.
I can't even get the nozzle. I can't even pay that fast. So, Denny comes out the control car. Green, white, checkered.
I mean,
I guess the question
you got to
here,
talk about it.
I guess the question is, did he jump?
It's really hard to say. And I know we like Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, Brandon. I'm a Denny fan, so you don't have to take my opinion if you don't want it, but I'm going to give it anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think he jumped.
On TV, it looks like he jumps.
I agree. On TV, Martin Truex's in-car camera is very. It looks like Denny jumped for that in-car camera, but it also looks like Truex was holding back. So if Truex lays back, naturally Denny, who's the control car, is going to pull forward. And Josh Wise has been said it all over social media that NASCAR is going to let them get away with this every single time. Mm-hmm. Every driver does it. So I went back and looked.
And they do. Like, it happens.
Every single time.
It happens. All the time.
Almost every restart, they start right before that line, especially at the end of the race on a green, white checkered. And Josh Wise said it's very well known in the Cup Series. You have to start early to win. So it was close. And
very close.
Only way to fix it is to make a black and white rule. And I don't want to see that.
No. Because when that happens, you know, you've got someone half a foot behind the line.
Yeah.
And they jump in. Then they lose the race because of it.
If they start taking wins away for a quarter inch, we were mad on the show last week talking about Brandon Jones getting a penalty in stage 2, coming to the win the stage 2 for a track limit penalty. It was that much.
Yeah. Do we really want to do that on restarts?
I think the reason everybody's so mad is because it's Denny Hamlin.
Oh, 100%.
Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano. You can interchange those two. It's going to affect the Jeff Gluck poll and the opinion of NASCAR fans.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I don't have a problem with what he did. Truex did,
but that's understandable.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, Grandpa Truex was just all kind of mad yesterday. So
I mean, what is it? Truex has led over 100 laps at Richmond 6 times and hasn't won.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'd be mad too.
He has every right to be mad or frustrated. And I think when Truex calms down, he'll see it for what it is. Like Martin was laying back, anticipating on Denny Hamlin doing what he did a little later.
Yeah.
Martin was going to, as soon as Denny hit that line, Martin was going to floor it. And he was going to have more miles per hour going down that straightaway than Denny. But because Denny, I think Denny saw Truex laying back and said, oh, got to go.
Yeah.
And left him. And it made it look like he jumped. And what made it worse is Fox waited like 11 minutes.
Oh, it was so bad. Oh, my gosh. I remember watching it, and I was like, where's the restart at? Where's the restart at?
I mean, you got Truex running into every car on the track. He's so mad. You could see the steam coming out of his helmet on the TV. And everybody's like, why is Truex so mad? And
Yeah.
Fox is like, oh, I don't know, guys. What do you want to show next? And then they came out and said that NASCAR said they weren't even going to look at it, which is not true.
Because then they came back. What was it, like the press or something?
Yeah, NASCAR came to the press and said, no, we looked at it. It looked fine. We let it go.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was a mess
Again, Fox dropped the ball. Like, how many times you got to drop the ball in the NFL before coach replaces you?
Okay, my thing is, this is a green-white checkered, right?
Yeah.
Why are we not showing the restart?
That seems like the most important thing.
Right. Like, I can understand, if we're in the middle of a long green flag session, they've run 40, 50 laps under green, and you're not showing the front. This is green-white checkered. This is for the win. Let's not show the front. That's
they got 30 cameras. I mean, it. They got access to in-car camera. I mean, we're watching it on X, on Martin Truex's in-car camera before Fox shows a replay.
Yeah. It was ridiculous.
I shouldn't have to be the camera guy, too.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, like you said, there's no other word for it. It's unacceptable is what it is. And you really think, like, NASCAR gets a black eye from this. NASCAR looks bad from this. Fox looks bad every weekend.
Yeah.
And I want to clear that up. It's not all of Fox, because I think Clint, Mike, and Kevin are phenomenal. Like, they're not Dale Jr. level, but NBC without Dale Jr., I don't think will hold up to Fox booth.
Yeah.
I think without Dale Jr. in the booth, Fox's booth will now be the superior booth. As a Dale Jr. fan, I'm probably a little biased. So,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the Kentucky Derby because Dale Jr. is commentating it. I watched the Olympics because I don't watch the Olympics, people. I don't watch the Kentucky Derby.
No.
I don't care that horses run around track. That entertains me zero. But Dale Jr. was there, so I watched.
Yep.
The Olympics, Dale Jr. was there, so I watched. He has a podcast, I listen. I mean, I am a Dale Jr. fan. He brings the level of the booth up 50%, in my opinion. So, but it's not the booth. I'm not going to say it's the camera guys because I got called out last week for saying it's the camera people. It's the production team in the trailer deciding which buttons to push. Or they're in the mics of the camera guy. Tell them, zoom out. I will give them a little credit yesterday. When the cars got spread out, they did go through the field and show the battles.
Yeah.
But you still could zoom out just a little more, Fox. Like you're so close to wanting to do better. Not so close to being better. I feel like you want to do better. I feel like you're almost to the point where you're going, maybe we should try. You're almost to that point. So we're just praying that you get there, man. Just a little bit. We need to talk to the production guy for Fox. I know they got a director guy. We need to talk to him and be like, hey, man.
What's going on?
What are you thinking? This ain't cartoons.
What's your thought process?
This ain't the wacky racers. Let's go. I mean, give me something entertaining to watch. So, just wanted to clear that up when we talk about Fox. We're not always bashing Clint, Kevin, and Mike. Clint, Kevin, and Mike, they're doing it. They're doing a good job. Like, Kevin Harvick has elevated the booth by a lot.
Yeah.
So, Truex loses a race. He knows he's going to lose a race.
He's mad.
Him and Larson runs him a little tight. Truex just doors him.
Yeah.
Just beats off of him.
Like, whoa.
Bangs up against him. Larson, okay.
Yep.
Runs him in the wall. Same thing. He's like, whatever. I can do that too.
Yeah.
And then they get out of the car and Larson's like, yeah, he was mad. Whatever. I'm not mad at him. I understand. I'd do the same thing.
He's such a level-headed guy.
I've never seen somebody that happy after getting hit. Twice.
I know. He's probably in the car just laughing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, bumper cars.
I mean, he's not blowing up like Blaney. He's just smiling like, ha, look what happened. We got hit. Ha, ha, ha. And then Truex goes and hits Denny.
Yeah.
As he's going to do his burnout. I mean, I know Dale Jr. said he's becoming a crabby old man in his old age.
I think Martin might be as well.
That was so out of character for Martin.
I know. You never see that from him.
You just to lose your cool like that. I mean, Martin's usually the guy who can hold it together. Me, I would have done what he did. I would have hit Larson. I'd have probably went up and hit Joey. I'd have hit.
You definitely would have hit Joey.
Oh yeah, I'd have hit Joey even if that had nothing to do with it. Just I got to hit him today. I ain't hit him yet. I'd have probably went and hit Denny while he's doing his burnout. Just cold trickled him right into the wall. Just Days of Thunder. Just like Matt Kenseth did to Joey Logano that time. Just
oh yeah,
out of the pitch, right into the car. So amazing.
That was awesome.
That was probably the only thing that's going to be better than Matt Kenseth just
because I mean
destroying
Matt Kenseth. Matt he was that guy that you just could not make mad.
No,
like
Joey did. Joey has that ability.
I think that's just a character trait of Joey.
Is it?
Yeah.
One of his spiritual gifts is making everybody mad.
Yeah.
It's that weasel laugh. It irritates me. Now, I hate to say it, but I enjoy him in the booth on Saturday.
Yeah, it's weird.
He brings a lot of good insights to the booth.
Yeah.
Dislike the guy or not, or like the guy, whatever you want to do. I don't care. It's your life. You got to deal with it. When you get the gates, St. Peter goes, oh, he was a Joey fan. Woo-hoo-hoo. Back of the line. Next. Deal with y'all later. Oh, you Logano fans. But, that's something you got to deal with. That's personal preference. But to me, he's good. He really is a talented driver.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can't deny that.
I want to.
I know.
But
yeah.
you can't. You can't take away from him that he's a phenomenal driver. And when he gets in the booth, especially him and Brad, like him and Brad together have so much knowledge of the sport.
Oh, yeah.
Of the cars. I mean, that's the difference between Kevin and Clint is Clint don't know these the new cars like Kevin does. So a lot of the times you hear contradictions in the booth because Kevin's saying something and Clint's going, no, it should be this way. And Kevin's like, nope, not this new car.
Yeah.
Which I kind of like. It just adds to it. I wish Clint could go run one of these cars.
Yeah.
Somewhere. Like
just so he can get a feel for it.
Yeah,
like, this is what we're all dealing with.
Maybe we could have Clint at the All-Star race in the heats at North Wilkesboro. Let him run some laps. Let him run a heat race. With no intentions of making it. Maybe he don't even count. Maybe he's like those dummy cars that were on the track when they filmed Days of Thunder.
Oh, yeah.
They were just out there running behind the field. Maybe he's like that. But I think it would give Clint some real-world experience. And it would just, the Xfinity car for Dale Jr., I think, makes Dale Jr. a better broadcaster.
Yeah.
Running that Xfinity car once or twice a year. Even the late model stock helps Dale Jr. be a better broadcaster because he can speak from the perspective of a driver.
Yeah.
I think that's what Clint's missing. I don't know when the last time I think he did the SRX stuff, if I'm not mistaken. So North Wilkesboro, throw him in a car. I mean, Richard, let him drive Austin's car. Austin ain't going to do anything in it. Or that 16 car is like a pay-to-play car for Colleague now. I mean, Richard pays Colleague puts Ty in the car.
Yeah.
And where'd Ty Dillon finish?
Oh, gosh.
In the back? Yeah. 28. Yeah, 28. No, 29th.
Ah.
So, yeah, I mean, Clint can do better than 29th. I think Clint would have finished 25th in the car. So, how about that? Colleague, if you're listening, let's put Clint in the 16 for the All-Star race. There's no reason to put Ty back in it. He's not going to do anything. And then if Clint doesn't do anything, no harm, no foul.
Yeah. You get the same outcome either way. And you run the chance of having a better outcome.
Yeah. And you got a better booth for Fox next season because Clint now has experience in the new car in a racing situation.
So just do us all a favor and put Clint in the car.
That's all you got to do, guys. So we had different strategies playing out. That helped out. Overall, like I said, it wasn't a bad race. As a Denny fan, I'd rather see Denny win over Truex. Josh Berry, if I'm going to give Bubba Pollard a shout-out for the way he ran in the Xfinity race, I feel like I owe Josh Berry a shout-out. And we just bought some sunglasses because we like Josh Berry's sunglasses.
Right.
So
I mean,
if you're looking for some cool sunglasses, it's the brand of them's called Driven. We've got them ordered. They'll be here Wednesday. They actually have a deal going, or at least they did last week. It was buy one, get one half off, or buy two and get one free. So naturally,
I got a pair of free sunglasses.
Yeah, he's getting sunglasses, and I got 2 pair coming.
Yeah.
Which I guess you can wear them if you want it. It don't matter. I can't wear but one at a time. So, but yeah, I mean, Josh Berry, shout out to him. Had a really strong night going. I think Josh has some things to clean up. He had some issues on pit road, and then he had some other issues on the track. He missed pit road at one time. To win a race in the Cup Series,
you got to be firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
Like
you have to put together a whole race.
Right.
Start to finish. And I think Josh is good. Yeah.
Oh, no doubt about it.
He'll get there. I think he has some work to do on 1.5 miles. And I don't know super speedways if they really matter as much anymore, but dude's got it on short tracks. Yeah. And that's where he comes from. He's a short track guy. But yeah, going into yesterday, Josh looked great. I thought he did a great job. Props out to Berry. He's going to be around for a while.
Yeah.
I think Josh Berry's going to carry the torch for Stewart-Haas Racing. I don't see unfortunately, I don't see Briscoe being that guy. I think Josh and Noah Gragson are the future of Stewart-Haas Racing.
Yeah. I can agree with that.
I would like to see Ryan Preece do better because he's a modified guy, and I just like grassroots racing. I like Briscoe. He's a sprint guy.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see him do better too, but where'd Briscoe finish at yesterday?
Oh, I don't even
18th.
Remember.
So Briscoe was 18th. Like I said, Josh and Noah, 11th and 12th.
Yeah.
So they're carrying the torch for Stewart-Haas Racing right now. And Tony's already said he ain't afraid to fire everybody. He'll make wholesale changes, and it ain't no big deal to him.
Yeah.
So I do think you're going to see some improvements over there. You got to give Berry at least a season under his belt. I mean, he ran a lot of races just last year in good equipment, filling in for Chase and Alex Bowman when he got hurt. So I think – I don't know that Berry or Noah will win a race this season.
But there's always the chance.
I think Richmond fall. Berry could come out there and put a whooping on him. If he runs as good as he ran last night,
but without the mistakes,
I think he could win the Richmond Fall race.
He could.
I put him in my fantasy lineup. I know that because even though we're not doing mine and Jamie's fantasy, I still play NASCAR fantasy. So, anything else you got from Richmond, John?
I'm trying to think. I don't know. I think that was about it. Covered the wet tires. Kyle Busch.
Bad officiating.
Yeah. That about sums up a NASCAR race.
Exciting end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, I got to thinking about this. Like, the only thing we're missing between this car and the old car, so me and my father-in-law, Doug, we used to watch NASCAR religiously together. I would go to his house at 10 a.m. so we could watch Race Day, which was a 4-hour program back then. Then you had an hour of pre-race and then the race. So it was like a 10-hour day. And they weren't all these exciting races. I mean, Atlanta used to be one of the most boring races on the schedule, but we talk about the glory days, I think the difference is the booth. I really do. And tire fall off. That's it.
And tire fall off.
You add tire fall off to this new car, I think you'll have something. I think they have some work to do on the short track package and the road course package, but I think if you give us tire fall off, give us a softer tire, I think we'll be well on our way to what we used to have at least, or something close to it.
If anything, just more interesting racing.
I think there's a large percentage of the fan base who, no matter what we do, they're not going to be happy.
Jamie, sorry. Sorry.
Calling you out, Jamie. No, I mean, seriously. I see it on X.
Yeah.
I see it on X. I see it on, well, that's really it. I just see it on X.
See it on X and X.
That's really the only one I pay attention to. But,
and Twitter.
Yeah, and Twitter. The two are the same, yeah. But you see it on there, and I don't think you're going to make these guys happy. You had guys who were mad at Bristol last fall and mad at the spring Bristol.
I don't know. I don't know how you can be mad at both those races. Those two completely different races.
Atlanta didn't get 100% yes vote,
which is absolutely insane. That was such a good race.
Bristol
I
didn't
haven't
get 100%.
enjoyed it. I haven't enjoyed a race like Atlanta in a long time.
Every Atlanta race since they've reconfigured it has been phenomenal. And it's only getting better.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a good race. It's such a good race.
So to my point, you're not going to make everybody happy, and that's okay. If it's not for you, it's really okay. If you don't want to watch, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like NASCAR has a goal of bringing in new fans. You're probably going to lose some old fans because if you put what we had 15 years ago at Atlanta on TV now, I mean, I'm talking Atlanta before stage breaks.
Oh, I cannot imagine that.
You know what was crazy? When Kevin Harvick beat Jeff Gordon by milliseconds to win Atlanta after Dale Earnhardt Sr. died, that was probably one of the most god-awful boring races that you could ever sit through until the end. Because, you know what?
No.
Tire fall off.
Really?
They had to save their tires. Only the guys who saved their tires were going to race close at the end of an Atlanta race. Atlanta had some of the best, exciting finishes ever because it was like driving across a cheese grater. I mean, you just see rubber flying behind the car like in a wake. It was insane. 5 laps at Atlanta, it was huge difference in time.
Mm.
And you could visually see the car slowing down. That's why I say, fix this new car, give us tire wear. Give us a softer tire at everywhere we go, then work on the aero stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like the tire is something you can do.
Right. I mean, it's one thing to go and change like the entire aerodynamics of a car.
Which they attempted to do over the off season.
And you know how that worked.
It didn't.
Exactly. So, what? I mean, we saw it at Bristol. You know, Bristol was probably the most exciting race of the season overall. Everyone loved it, or almost everyone. But it's majority agreed that Bristol was a great race. Why not keep trying that? What I don't understand is we go from Bristol, one of like widely agreed that was a good race.
Yeah. Because
of the tires, and then we go Coda, Richmond, and we're back to what we were before.
I mean, I give NASCAR, like I said earlier, I give them some slack because I don't think you can make a change that fast. But when we go back to these tracks, I think you should have made a change by then.
Yeah.
There's no reason why we can't have 3 or 4 cars. Well, there's 4 manufacturers, or no, 3. There's no reason you can't have 3 cars each week go to a track and test tires.
Right.
Send a Ford, a Chevy, and a Toyota out there and let them just go at it and see what happens. But heck, you don't even need cup drivers. Let Clint go out and drive a car and test tires.
That's how we get him back in the car.
Yeah, we'll get Clint some experience. We'll put him out there testing tires. I mean, we can fix all these tracks. 1.5 mile tracks need tire fall off like they used to.
Yeah.
You're not going to lose whatever, I don't know what you call it, but whatever they're thinking they got, they're not going to lose that. It's only going to make it better. All we're asking is for a better race.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to stick it out. So let's get it together. I mean, he's going to graduate soon.
Yeah.
Before he graduates, let's get it together. All right, next week, we are going to Martinsville.
Yep.
It's a 3 o'clock race. It's going to be on FS1 and MRN. It is a half-mile paperclip short track. Martinsville used to be my favorite track. Used to be. This new car has ruined Martinsville for me. It's probably one of the worst tracks we race at with this car. But how can we go to Martinsville and not talk about the Hell Melon?
You can't. I remember watching that. I remember my friends talking about that.
We don't even watch NASCAR?
My friends don't watch NASCAR. They listen to me talk about NASCAR, and they don't care. Like, they don't care about whenever I talk about NASCAR, but they were talking about the Hell Melon. I mean, it was the craziest thing I've ever experienced.
It was. I remember watching it that night. You, your mom, your sisters, grandma, my mom, everybody was at church except me. And it happened. And there's nobody in the house. Like, I'm grabbed the dog. I'm like, you got to come watch this. Come on, Kirby, you got to come see this. So I'm showing the dog the replay because I can't believe what I just saw. I mean, Ross went into turn 3 and he's like, screw
Whatever.
it. Whoa.
It was crazy.
I mean, he put the car on the wall, just 3 and 4. He got into the championship 4 by doing it.
You could not have written a better story.
And they outlawed it. And I'm okay with that, too. I never thought we would. Kyle Larson had attempted this previously, and it didn't work. I think that was the thing. It had been attempted previously and not worked.
Right. So there's no need for a rule if it doesn't work.
But Martinsville's perfect. It's a paper clip. So it's thin. So it's not that far around. So he just hit the wall just right, just laid in the gas. I mean, Ross said it was a rough ride.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you see the in-car camera. It's shaking the whole way.
It's insanity. So you know it was a rough ride, but I loved it.
It was.
And what's sad is we go from that to the new car.
Yeah.
And it's like everybody's pumped up seeing the promos. Yeah, let's go Richmond or Martinsville, wherever we're going. We'll name every short track before I get there. Let's go to Martinsville. It's going to be great. Check out this promo. Look what Ross did. And then we go there and it's like, it's like watching paint dry.
Oh my gosh, it was
so
bad.
Martinsville has the coolest trophy too.
Oh, I know, right?
Like we'll talk a little bit about the trophy next week at the beginning of the show, and there's another race from Martinsville as a junior fan that's historic to me, and we're going to talk about that one a little bit next week too. But going into closing the show out this week, there was just no way I could go to Martinsville and not talk about the Hell Melon. Like, still.
I mean, it. I said it at the time, but it doesn't matter what Chastain does for the rest of his career. He will always, he will always have a staple in the sport.
A legend.
Oh yeah, he will. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. He'll always be a legend.
He became legendary that day. He might be one of the hardest cars to pass on the track now. Even if he don't win, I do think he'll win plenty of races before he retires. But even if he doesn't win another race ever, he will still be a NASCAR legend. Yep. He will go down. That will go down as one of the greatest moments in NASCAR history of all time. Yeah. If the sport ended tomorrow, that would be in the top 5 of the greatest moments ever. Yep. In NASCAR history. So I'm looking forward to Martinsville. Fingers crossed.
Who knows?
Denny peed in the tire compound.
Yep, and we get another race like Bristol, but
I'd be all right if Denny won it. If we get another Bristol type race and Denny wins again, I'm okay with that. I have no problem with that. I know a lot of you will be mad about that, but I won't. Even if he jumps the restart. I mean, he is Jumpman, guys. He is sponsored by Michael Jordan. What do you expect? But I digress. So, anything else before I close this out?
No, I think we're good.
All right. Well, thanks everybody who watches, listens every week, shares the show on social media. Make sure you follow us on X. We're at Car Backwards. Go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, check out our other videos. Check us out on Spotify. Make sure to follow us there and rate us. Subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts and leave us a review like Brandon did. When you leave us a review, it helps other people find the show. Naturally, we want to grow the show. So you see our shorts, you see our reels, you see our TikToks, you see all that stuff. Like it, share it, thumbs up it. Make sure you follow us on all those platforms as well. If you got any questions, you can email us at racecarbackwardspod@gmail.com. And make sure you check out our merch store. It's racecarbackwards.threadless.com. Other than that, y'all have a great week, guys, and we'll see you after Martinsville. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
You just listened to Race Car spelled backwards. For that, we thank you.